Howdy, it's Jim Arado, and I'm going to do just a quick intro to this video. This is from a little boat tour we took in San Antonio on the Riverwalk. It lasts about 30 minutes, and it's a great way to see the town, and it's just a lot of fun. I don't think it cost us, I'm thinking maybe $10 if that, to do this. I could be way off. I just don't remember it being very expensive. But this was just a great way to learn some history about San Antonio and to check things out. I'm going to put up a couple of other videos from San Antonio. We were there in 2015 and 2017, and we had just a blast. Yeah, these guys, this little company that does the little boat rides, they were incredible, and we had a great time, so I'm going to shut up and let you listen to them. Thanks.
Y'all can hear me, right?
Yes.
Awesome. How you guys doing? Good. My name's Brian. I'll be conducting y'all's tour this evening. Now, before we get started, I do want to talk about safety really quick. Y'all can do me a favor, keep all hands and feet inside the blue rails of the boat at all times. Also, you guys can please refrain from the use of tobacco products on board. Now, smoking, that's the one that I'm really worried about. There's a reason behind that as well. This boat runs on compressed natural gas. During the tour while I'm up here driving the boat, I stand directly above the gas tank. Please, for my sake, don't smoke on board. We also have some life jackets from the front of the boat underneath the hatches that say no cheating allowed. Those life jackets that we have, they are brand new. The entire history of this company, none of our boats have ever had to use them. Now, in the odd event that one of you does find yourself inside the San Antonio River tonight, I want you to do me a favor. Now, please don't panic. Go ahead, stand up in the water, walk out to either side. The water average is about 3.5 feet deep. You'll be okay. Now, this is a narrated tour. That means I'll be talking pretty much the whole time. If you guys have any kind of questions, just feel free to ask. If I can't answer your question, it's currently the year 2017. I'm pretty sure most of us have smartphones in our pockets, right? 25th of February. Pretty sure we all have smartphones in our pockets, right? We can Google it together. Now, really quick before we get started, I do have two questions for you guys. Is anybody on board from San Antonio? Alright, looks like it's just me. That's cool. Has anybody on board ever visited San Antonio before? Welcome back. Now, those of you on board that are just now joining us, welcome to the world-famous San Antonio Riverwalk. Now, there are several things that I'm going to talk about. Actually, I do encourage you guys to take pictures while you're on board. Definitely make some memories. This is going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have a good time. Also, there are several things I'll talk about that some of you guys might actually want to take a picture of. I'll let you know when they're coming up. I'm going to give you a hint. I'm going to say go ahead and get your cameras ready. So everybody, go ahead and get your cameras ready. The Nick's Hospital is coming up. Now, the Nick's was opened in 1930, the first full-service hospital here in San Antonio. It's also the first fully air-conditioned hospital in the United States. It's also an optical illusion. Let's take a look up to our left, high up to our left. We're going to see the Nick's Hospital. It appears to be a freestanding wall about 20 stories tall. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Yeah. Now, the Nick's, like I said, it opened at the hospital. Still a hospital today. It's the only hospital that I know of that has a bar and grill in the basement. Now let's take a look in front of us. To the trees, there's a hotel building, right? That's the Hyatt Regency Hotel. The Hyatt was opened up in 1981, and the building itself was actually supposed to be built much taller. During construction, however, the city conducted shadow testing on the building to ensure that it wouldn't cast a shadow over the Alamo at sunset. Because of that, they actually built the building wider. Also, the city gifted the Hyatt Regency with a lobby. This lobby is open to the public. It also serves as a direct pathway to the Alamo itself. Has anybody on board got a chance to check out the Alamo yet? Yeah. All right, good. So you guys have. Now, those of you that have not, I'll give y'all some directions on how to get there from here. So take a look on our left. There's the lobby for the Hyatt Regency, marked by two doors that shows the Paseo del Alamo. If you go through those doors, take the lobby up the street level, cross the street in front of you once you exit, you'll find yourself right there in front of the Alamo. Now there's a red brick building. It's coming up here on our right-hand side. It's called the Casino Club Building. Now this building was built, open, and designed all by the German community here in San Antonio. It's actually open as a private club. a look on the back of your ticket stub, you'll see there are several different discounts and deals to be had with the use of that ticket stub at some of these restaurants around here. Going up here on our right-hand side, two of our zero starters. My buddy Ted is driving it.
Oh, that duck is...
Yeah, really.
Now, in the very, very early 1920s, there was an architect that lived in the area. His name was Robert H.A. Tugman. Now, he was actually just 27 years old whenever he completed the design for the entire Riverwalk here in San Antonio. Let's take a look to our right-hand side. There's a circular balcony. There's his name across it, right? Directly below that balcony is where he placed his office, immediately following the flood we had here in 1921. Here on the right there's a bronze bust of Robert H.A. Tugman. He chose that location for his office as a feat of confidence that the Riverwalk would never flood again. We start off the tour inside the natural bend. Now downtown San Antonio along the Riverwalk, there are two sections of the river that are actually man-made. Like I said, we start off the tour inside the natural bend. Up here we are going to... We are going to make a left. He does that all the time, it's all good. We're going to make a left. We're going to enter the main man-made extension. Some of you might be wondering, why did they build a man-made extension in the first place? In 1968, San Antonio hosted the 1968 Hemisphere World Fair. The leaders of the great city here in San Antonio decided they wanted a river shuttle service built from the section of the river that we just left all the way down to the fairgrounds. So they built one. Now what you can see in front of us is the evolution of that river shuttle service. Now let's take a look in front of us. There are two hotel buildings far in front of us, right? Let's check out the one on the left. It says Marriott across the top. Has the two twin spires on top as well. Now before that building was constructed, before it went up, before it was built, there was another hotel in its place. This is called the Fairmont Hotel. Now in 1985, they actually moved to Fairmont. They moved it to that hotel building you see today in front of us to actually get constructed. Here's how they did it. The river here in the downtown area was drained through the Green Riverbed. The hotel building itself was jacked up on the dollies, placed onto pneumatic tires on street level. The building was then rolled through the streets downtown. It was moved 6 blocks over the course of 6 days. At its time, it held the Guinness Book of World Records record for the largest building moved to municipal streets. Now rests on the corner of South Alamo and Nueva Street. Now take a look up to our right-hand side. There's a break in the trees, right? Let's take a look up above this wall. High up to our right, there's the Tower of the Americas. The Tower of the Americas was designed as the centerpiece of the 1968 Hemisphere World Fair. It stands at 622 feet tall, making it the second tallest freestanding tower here in the United States. The top portion of the tower weighs around 700 tons and also revolves. It completes 1 full revolution per hour. Up at the top portion of the tower, you'll find an observation deck, as well as a restaurant called the Courthouse. To get up to the top, you can take the elevators. There are 3. They do face the exterior, giving you a view of the city on your way up. There are 954 steps to get to the top of the tower. In case you guys wanted to climb the tower on your vacation.
Maybe next time.
Now take a look up high to our right-hand side, up above the Market Street Bridge. There's the top of the Tower of the Americas once again. And you want to take a look at the tower? We have a back right here. You can see the tower going into Q 1968. So here we are. We actually just entered a small section of the Riverwalk. This is all the Henry V. Gonzalez Convention Center extension. This as well as the convention center, the whole named after Henry V. Gonzalez. He was the first Hispanic American elected to the U.S. House of Representatives. He served from 1961 to 1998. Now the convention center, back here at the end of the extension, comprised of 1.6 million square feet San Antonio. Let's go ahead, let's get our cameras out again. Let's get ready to take another picture. I want you guys to take a look up high to our left. We're gonna see a mosaic. This mosaic was a gift to the city from the country of Mexico for the 1968 Hemisphere World Fair. It was created by an artist named Juan O'Gorman of over 400,000 1x1 inch tiles, all ranging from 11 different colors of natural stone. It represents the coming together of Latin America and Western culture. It's titled The Confluence of Civilization. It took about 2 years to create the entire mosaic. Pretty cool, right? I bet you guys wanted to take a picture of it, but you missed your shot. Don't worry. See this bridge in front of us? We're going to turn around underneath it. No, actually, there is a young man on board. He has on a navy blue hat with big glasses. He just graduated from Air Force boot camp and basic training. Give a round of applause. Congratulations, young man. Also, thank you for your service. Now, on board, do we have any other active duty military, any retired military, or any veterans? I'm sorry to hear that, ma'am.
He's going too far back in the photo.
Now that mosaic is up here on the right-hand side this time around. The first time we passed by,
I already seen those. That's wrong.
it was on the left. No, the first time we passed by the mosaic, some of y'all might have noticed. It was on the face of a theater. That's a performing arts theater named after San Antonio's first female mayor, Lila Cockrell. She served 3 terms. Still a very active member here in San Antonio's community. Does anybody have any questions about the tour so far?
How far is the river walk? How long?
It's 15 linear miles.
Take it back.
Anything else? What's your question on that? Where does it end? The Gulf of Mexico?
It's like, oh my god.
What's that?
Has it flooded again since we got the bus?
There's been a couple of small floods, but nothing like in 1921. And I know we're talking about flooding right now. Later on in the tour, we're going to enter the flood control channel. That's the second portion of the Riverwalk that's man-made. Now, we're going to talk all about it. We're going to learn all about the flood as well. There's a lot of stuff that we're going to talk about there. Pretty cool. But fish, yes, there are. There's a lot of fish in here actually. Now let's get our cameras out. Let's get them ready to take another picture. It's a really, really good picture opportunity coming up of the Tower of the Americas. So let's go ahead, take a look behind me, up above the Market Street Bridge. You're going to see the top of the Tower of the Americas. Now don't take your picture right away, unless you just want to take a picture of the top of the tower.
Well, there it is.
So right about now, right, you can see the entire thing instead of just the top. Go ahead and snap those photos. Now the entire man-made extension, it was completed in 1968, with the exception of one part. Now we're going to make a right turn. We're going to go into that part right now. The section that we're entering, it was finished in 1988, 20 years later, 20 years after the initial extension. And it was finished with one purpose in mind, and that was the River Center Mall, which is located at the end of the extension. It actually be centered around a river. Is anybody on board got a chance to check out River Center Mall yet? Alright, so you guys have, that's great. Now we're all going to go check out River Center Mall right now. Now, I think we might just hang out here for just a little bit. There's a lagoon back here. You'll see what I'm talking about pretty soon, but I think there's a lot of traffic back there right now. There could be a lot of traffic.
I want But it was a nice fall.
Well, like I said, River Center Mall was opened in 1988. It offers a billion square feet of shopping. Has our typical mall stores in there, Flair, Foot Locker, Hot Topic, all kinds of stuff like that. It also has one of the largest IMAX theaters in the nation inside it. That theater has a screen that's about 3 stories tall.
Can we get to the IMAX theater too?
They have an Alamo movie there, I think.
Now, let's take a look to our, in front of us, to our left. That's River Center Mall. All around us is River Center Mall as well. Now, if you guys haven't gotten a chance to check out the Alamo yet, and you want to check out the Alamo, that River Center, that IMAX theater inside River Center Mall, it has a daily showing of a movie regarding the Alamo. It's called The Alamo, The Price of Freedom. The film is about 45 minutes long, and the theater itself is located directly across the street from the Alamo. If you guys haven't seen the Alamo yet and you want to, I would recommend checking it out. Does anybody here like oranges? You do? Check the tree out. Look here on our right-hand side. At the top of the tree, there's a whole bunch of oranges up there, right? This tree is an orange tree. Just goes to show us, despite being in the middle of the downtown area of the 7th largest city here in the United States, there's still a ton of nature here, especially here along the Riverwalk. Now there's one more tree coming up I want you guys to look at. Go ahead, take a look directly above us right about now. See the lemons on the tree? Can I get a good guess on what kind of tree that is? Now let's go ahead and let's turn our cameras on again. There's actually a statue coming up that's kind of cool. It's going to be to my right here in just a couple of seconds. So let's take it out to the right-hand side, just past the sidewalk, that bronze statue. That statue is titled San Antonio de Padua. The statue was a gift to the city from the country of Portugal for the 1968 Hemisphere World Fair. Now it is in fact the statue of the city of San Antonio's namesake. She was a saint that lived in the country of Portugal during the 1200s. Now let's keep our cameras out. There's something else I want to point out to you guys.
Sorry, I've kept my camera out the whole time.
Let's take a look far in front of us. There's a really, really good picture opportunity in the Tower Life building. Now I'm not going to cover everything about the Tower Life because we're going to pass right by the base of the building here in about 7 minutes and 43 seconds. Now let's take a look up to our right-hand side, just past the trees. You're going to see the top of a Catholic church. That's St. Joseph's Catholic Church. The cornerstone for that church was set in 1868. That's one of the oldest churches here in San Antonio. Every fourth Sunday of the month, St. Joseph holds a mass completely held in German. Completely German choir. Now the San Antonio River begins from a natural spring. That natural spring is fed from the Edwards Aquifer. The Edwards Aquifer is an underground lake. It's 180 miles long right here in San Antonio. And like I just explained, this is a very natural river. Up here we're going to make a left. We're coming to the end of the man-made extension. Up here we're going to make a left. We're going to rejoin the natural bend of the river.
Guys from Austin.
So here we are, exiting the
These guys.
We found ourselves back inside the natural bend of the river. Looks a lot more natural out here, doesn't it? Kinda. Let's take a look up above the Market Street Bridge. There's the Hilton Palacio del Rio Hotel. And that hotel has a little bit of a history behind it. It was opened up in 1968, just in time for the 1968 Hemisphere World Fair. It was completed using modular construction. Now, upon completion, it actually held the Guinness Book of World Records record for the largest and fastest built building identical. Those rooms were completed 8 miles south of here, individually, fully furnished on an assembly line. They were then hauled here and placed one on top of the other with a crane until the building was completed. This entire hotel was finished in 202 working days in 1968. Pretty impressive, right? Now the contractor, H.P. Zachary, he made a bet with the city of San Antonio before construction started. He said, if I can't get this building finished in 204 days or less, I'll sell you the entire thing for $1. He finished it 2 days early, made a huge profit as well. Now, all along this curve in front of us, there's an area called La Vista. La Vista is pretty cool. If you guys get a chance to check it out, definitely do so. Some shops in there, some restaurants, a couple of jewelry stores, a couple of art galleries in there as well. Now, also inside La Vista is the Artisan River Theater. We're about to pass right through. Let's take a look on our left. We'll see City from the 800. On our right-hand side, we're going to see the stage. Now, as we're passing by the stage, I want you guys to take a look at the back of the stage. We're going to see 5 bronze bells.
Yeah, close enough.
So there's a 5th one there.
Thank you.
Now, those 5 bronze bells, they represent the 5 founding missions here in San Antonio, Texas. Now, I want you guys to check out that bell in the middle. It's a little bit bigger than the rest of them, right? Now, it also has a little bit of writing across it. Now, I know the writing's a little small, kind of hard to see, but I also know what it says. It says, in memory of Robert H. Hugman. You guys remember that architect from a little bit earlier?
Oh, yeah.
The one that designed the Riverwalk? Get our cameras out again. So you guys might want to take a picture of this cattle herder statue coming up here on the right-hand side. Now, directly behind that cattle herder statue, there's a building. It's called the Briscoe Western Arts Museum. The building itself was actually the first public library here in San Antonio. It has many very interesting exhibits inside it. Pancho Villa's last known saddle, Santa Anna's sword, as well as an interactive diorama of the Battle of the Alamo. Every Tuesday night, the Briscoe has free admission from 4 to 9 p.m. Many of you guys are going to be here on Tuesday. Now, coming up here on our right-hand side, we actually have an island. It's called Marriage Island.
Get out of the way, Doug.
It gets the name because it actually averages 300 weddings per year. Now, it's also said to be good luck if you guys get married. If anybody gets married on Marriage Island, I have a cousin that we know he actually has been married there 3 times.
To your right, you see a Mexican. I'm Mexican.
You guys should renew your vows. Yeah. You're like, I'll do it. Renee and I will plan it. Oh, yeah. We'll plan and Renee.
You're a big old ham.
Now let's take a look far in front of us. So the building has a green roof, has a bell tower attached to it as well. That's the Bexar County Courthouse. The Bexar County Courthouse was opened in 1896. That's one of the oldest courthouses in the entire state of Texas. Now let's take a look up high to our left-hand side. We're going to see the Tower Line building. We saw from afar earlier. Here it is up close. Now this building was designed with the Neo-Gothic style architecture, complete with gargoyles way up high on the top 2 levels, as well as some faces called grotesques along the 3rd floor.
Really?
The stage where this building was open, that was the stage where the stock market crashed in the 1920s.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Leaving the building
There's some
vacant for a number
faces
of
we
years.
should be able to see better.
Now, it's been occupied throughout the years by several different companies, but it actually finds itself vacant once again today.
I'm like, what is that? Is that an alien? I want to come there.
Why?
We got a little bit closer so we can all get a look at those faces, those grotesques, along the 3rd floor.
There's faces there, Woody.
That's cool. I like that.
perfect picture opportunity. Some of you from the angle of the boat, whenever you take this picture, you might accidentally take a picture of me and the tour guide. If you're gonna make it right, we're gonna enter the flood control channel. Before we do, we're gonna pass right over by the floodgates. We're actually on top of it right about now. Take a look to your left and to your right. It says steel on the wall. That's the housing that assists the floodgate with opening. It lies at the bottom of the river. It opens up like a drawbridge. That's floodgate number 4. Now we're entering the flood control channel. I think we spoke about it just a little bit earlier, right? So I know I told you guys at the very beginning of the tour, the Riverwalk averages about 3.5 feet deep, right? That average does not include the flood control channel. It's actually about 20 feet deep right here. It's actually about 20 feet from Houston Street, which is a little less than a quarter mile north of us, to behind us about 120 yards. So it's actually, let's take a look behind us really quick. There's a big drop off back there. Can you guys all see it? That drop off is another floodgate itself. That's floodgate number 5. Now in the event of a flood, here's how the flood control channel will work to protect the city. So we came in through floodgate 4. We're gonna exit through floodgate 3. Now both floodgate 3 and 4, they work together. They shut at the same time, closing off the entire eastern portion of the riverwalk from here. And once they're completely shut, floodgate 5 behind us, it stands at 20 feet tall. It opens up all the way down. There's a huge current in this channel, and the water is here to pass through, instead of rising and flooding the entire downtown portion of the city. Now in 1921, there was a huge flood here in San Antonio. 57 people floated away. It also cost millions of dollars in property damage. It also sparked the interest in building this channel. Upon completion in 1929 by the Army Corps of Engineers, there hasn't been a single flood here in the downtown area. Let's talk about the origins of the city of San Antonio. So, San Antonio was officially established in the year 1718. Now, next year, in 2018, that'll be San Antonio's tricentennial. That's 300 years as a city. Pretty cool, right? Let's take a look to our left. See this area right here? It's called Main Plaza. Now, this is just a portion of Main Plaza. It extends up to the left for a few more blocks. Now let's take a look up to our left, actually about 100 yards. You guys see that building? The shorter one that has an orange lights on it? That's the San Fernando Cathedral. Looks kind of old, right? It was built in 1717. That's the oldest cathedral in the state of Texas. Now what's going on tonight? Tuesday nights, Friday nights, Saturday nights, and Sunday nights, there's a light show on the cathedral face. It's called the Saga. Very, very cool. If you guys have to check it out, definitely do so. Starts at 9 o'clock, runs until 10:30. And it's free, doesn't cost you anything. If you guys have to catch the light show, definitely do so. Now I think I mentioned floodgate 3 very, very briefly a little bit earlier, right? Let's take a look up here on the right-hand side. See this green bridge? The top portion of that bridge, that's where floodgate 3 is housed. The gate weighs 3 tons and it takes a full 15 minutes for it to open or close. You know, you can actually see the bottom part of floodgate 3 right as we're passing through here. As we're passing through here, let's take a look up above the boat. Probably right about now. Now there's a building coming up here on our left-hand side. It's called the Drury Inn Suites building. This building was opened in 1921. The same year as that Great Flood. It was the first city public service building here in San Antonio. It actually opened 2 months before that flood. It did get flooded. Let's take a look inside the building here on the left. You see those chandeliers inside? Just to give an idea of how much water was in this area during that flood. Those waters rose up just past the tops of those chandeliers, 8 feet above the St. Mary Street Bridge in front of us. Now let's take a look to our right-hand side. We have the Esquire Tavern. The Esquire was opened up in 1933, the same year that Prohibition was lifted. It actually opened up 11 minutes post-Prohibition with a fully stocked bar. How they got all the alcohol in there, still a mystery today. Kind of. This does conclude the tour. I'd like to thank you guys all for coming out. Hopefully y'all found it enjoyable, very informative as well. Feel free to like us on Twitter or Facebook at Real San Antonio Cruises. Also for a job well done. Our drivers do appreciate your tips. I do have one favor to ask. Y'all remain seated until I have the boat safely docked and secured. I'll let you know what to take to exit the boat.
Yeah. A couple bucks.
Also, take a look to your left and to your right. Make sure you don't leave anything on board. Cell phones, wallets, purses.
Grenades.
Any trash or garbage you need to accumulate during the tour.